Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. The kid Puffy called me, however Puffy got back to me in the day. Once upon a time, he called me, he resembled, I simply believe you should realize I don't have anything to do with your siblings. You know I know what your identity is nevertheless. We never met, and simply need to call you man. Tell you that I don't have anything to do with your siblings passing the narrative that guaranteed which we realize wasn't accurate. Better believe it definitely see out. We don't discuss things that are babble. We don't for a moment even engage garbage my sibling. So we not in any event going to try and go there with all due regard, however I value you as a columnist. Asking thank you cause you listened quite a while back. I'd have been like you, did you recruit someone to kill? However, no, you do it like a writer. Definitely no. I mean, we wouldn't get into babble like that. You understand what I'm talking about. It's gibberish, which we never accepted coin inside. Tally Tupac's sibling Mopreme Shakur has made sense of why his family loathes Diddy, particularly in the repercussions of charges that Diddy could have been behind Tupac's passing. Diddy's name has been referenced concerning Tupac's demise throughout recent years, and it just deteriorated after Diddy's protector Keefe D approached, with claims that Diddy requested the hit that took Tupac out amusingly. However, Mopreme Shakur accepts that the motivation behind why Diddy has never been gotten is that Diddy has the police in his pocket in light of his cash, and the way that he works for the federal authorities. Then again, police disdain the Shakur family as a result of their activism. So they could have found out about Tupac's passing, and perhaps quite possibly it might have been forestalled. So is Diddy truly cahoots with the police? Is it conceivable that the police might have effectively forestalled Tupac's passing? However, didn't. How about we get into it? Look at we're attempting to find him. Do you think Tupac was being watched by the public authority that he had chance in VES? From that point onward, Tupac kicked the bucket in a drive-by shooting on September 7th, 1996 there. There have been many paranoid notions encompassing how he passed on and who is capable. While a large number of these speculations are only that hypotheses, some might be really trustworthy. One of them is that Diddy employed individuals to kill Tupac. Diddy's name has frequently been referenced, comparable to Tupac's passing, without anyone viewing it in a serious way. Yet this took a turn when Diddy's previous protector, Keefe D, was captured, comparable to Pac's homicide before his capture. Keefe D had conceded various meetings in regards to the night Pac being killed by him. The drive-by shooting that killed Tupac was a demonstration of retribution for a prior squabble between the Crips, which Diddy was partnered with, and the Bloods, which Tupac was a subsidiary of. Keefe D guaranteed he was in the rearward sitting arrangement of the white Cadillac that the shooter was in, yet he was not the one that discharged the shot. What does this have to do with Diddy? Well, Keefe D affirmed that Diddy was the genius behind Tupac's demise. In this Vlad television interview, Keefe discussed how Diddy offered him $1 million to take out Tupac and his chief Shud Knight. Anyway, Keefe supposedly never got the cash in light of the fact that the partner at Diddy gave the cash to Eric Von Zip, who fled with it. As per Greg Kading, one of the analysts who at first examined Tupac's homicide police, Keefe D and Diddy's association for the situation in film of his prior interviews with police, Keefe D essentially owned up to killing Tupac and the way that Diddy recruited him to take out Tupac and Shud Knight. So assuming police had this data from the beginning, for what reason did they not follow up on it? Well, certain individuals except examiners were attempting to be certain that their intel was right, and that everything happened the manner in which Keefe D said it did anyway. There may be a more evil justification for why police sat on data that could prompt the capture of Tupac's executioner for very nearly 30 years. Certain individuals could recollect Tupac as a rapper and lyricist, however he was significantly more than that. Tupac was a lobbyist who experienced childhood in a group of activists anyway. Their activism made the Shakur family foes of the state, and they were much of the time focuses of dread. Adism and connivance claims. As a matter of fact, numerous individuals from the Shakur family went to jail eventually for their activism, and some of them even passed on in jail now. In the event that you could go on and on about the dark freedom development, you know how hard the US government worked to subvert the development. Records show that the FBI, under the authority of Edgar Hoover, used the Interpol to destroy the development and wipe out its vital participants. They did this through a few implies from through and through capturing, detaining, and killing dark progressives like MLK, Fred Hampton, and Malcolm X, to barring dark families from gainful social framework. The Shakur family was not excluded from the FBI's counterterrorism endeavors to control the development of dark Freedom. His mom, Keefe Shakur, was a political lobbyist and a focal figure in the Dark Jaguar Party in the late 60s and mid-70s. While pregnant with Tupac, Afeni confronted a preliminary in New York as a piece of the Puma 21 lawbreaker case. In spite of the fact that she was viewed as not at fault for more than 150 charges, she actually went to prison for supposed psychological oppression. Tupac's dad, Billy Laurel, was likewise a dark extremist subsidiary of the Dark Jaguar Party. Shakur, Tupac's mother's most memorable spouse, was the head of the Dark Pumas in Harlem. He was tracked down dead in his loft in 1970, despite the fact that it would later turn out Lumumba was not Tupac's natural dad. Pac was raised by Mopreme Shakur, Lumumba's stepbrother, who was likewise a dark progressive. Mopreme was on the FBI's 10 most needed escapees list for 4 years in 1986. He was viewed as at fault for a 1981 burglary that elaborated on the demise of cops and a watchman, and he was condemned to jail where he spent the following 37 years. In December 2022, Mopreme was exonerated and set free from jail. However, he would die only 8 months after the fact that Tupac's backup parent, Elmer Jono Pratt, was a top figure in the Dark Jaguar Party. He would be sentenced for homicide, burning through 27 years in the slammer. One more extremist individual from the Shakur family is Tupac's guardian Assata Shakur, a previous individual from the Dark Freedom Armed Force. Assata was sentenced for first murder in the passing of another Jersey state officer. However, she got away from jail in 1979. The FBI actually has a $2 million abundance on her head. One hypothesis in regards to Assata's break and Tupac's passing is that the FBI was attempting to get data that could prompt Assata's catch from Tupac, yet how could the federal authorities be attempting to get to Assata through Tupac? Well, since early on Tupac had become a remarkable progressive himself. At 18, he joined the New African Dark Jaguars Party and started openly taking a stand in opposition to prejudice and police mercilessness, while likewise pushing for the arrival of dark political detainees. He later became the party's director, giving him more access and power. And assuming you have heard Tupac talk, you realize he was expressive and magnetic. The kind of character individuals were continuously able to pay attention to this didn't agree with the public authority. The FBI Battle on Tupac Shakur by John Potes is a book that contains the names, dates, and occasions prompting the passing of dark progressives like Malcolm X and MLK. The writer John Potes additionally accepted that the FBI killed Tupac in the book. Potes composed long stretches of amassed proof backing that the FBI arranged the homicide of rap symbol Tupac Shakur and that they utilized comparative strategies to kill other liberal dark pioneers. Thousands of pages of our knowledge reports, court declarations, and specialist exposures uncover how the FBI pursued a conflict with dark pioneers. VIPs like Feline Williams appear to concur that the FBI was, to be sure, engaged with Pac's passing. Even a few fans accept that Tupac was killed by the public authority, and Keefe D is only a concealment. One fan said Keefe D is only a fall fellow for the homicide of Tupac. It was for an administration plot. Someone else said Tupac realized that Kid was the child and nephew of Dark Puma development. The public authority required him to go by POTUS. Tupac's mother, Amy, consistently thought the FBI's contribution to her child's passing was the reason she chose to avoid political activism anyway. The FBI purportedly tracked down ways of getting Amy snared on break and different substances to ruin her and make her sound insane. Potash accepted that the FBI utilized comparable strategies to control other dark political activists to the point where they were either dependent on drugs, engaged in posse savagery, or jailed for some wrongdoing at the hour of his demise. Tupac was at that point making arrangements to leave the rap scene and all the brutality related to it and shine a spotlight on making provocative movies to exhibit the magnificence of dark culture and advance positive qualities. This made Tupac especially risky to the FBI as per Potash in his book Us Knowledge.